As long as there was coffee in the world, how bad could things be? Judith Rumelt. Guess where I am? You can't imagine. Pressing the phone to my ear, I waited for Mike Quinn's gravelly voice to ride a cellular wave up the eastern seaboard. Given the choice, he said, I'd rather imagine. That shouldn't have surprised me. After all, Michael Ryan Francis Quinn was a decorated narcotics detective, and if there was one thing the NYPD looked for when recruiting from their uniformed force, it was imagination. That and inquisitiveness, insight, and an eye for detail. According to Quinn, the New York brass referred to these as the 4 eyes, although I had pointed out the last one started with an E. For the past 6 months, Quinn had been working in Washington, D.C., where a U.S. attorney had drafted him for a special assignment. He wasn't permitted to tell me much about his Justice Department job, although I did deduce his Federal Triangle desk phone had caller ID because he always answered my rings with a husky hello reserved only for me. Just the sound of his voice relieved the tension I'd been feeling about the night ahead. Of course, I didn't have a clue what was really ahead. If I had, I might have gone straight home and pulled the covers over my eyes. In a short space of time, I'd be bribing a bomb squad lieutenant, cracking a mathematician's 17-digit password, and conjuring culinary ideas for a billionaire's potluck. That I could handle. But battling a giant octopus, raiding a forbidden coffee plantation, defusing a nitro-packed knapsack, stopping a slayer while working with one, and fixing my daughter's love life? I think even 007 would have flinched. At this point in my story, however, my life was manageable, even pretty nice. I was sitting on hand-rubbed leather in a private limo, and a good cop was purring in my ear. Let's see now, Quinn continued. I'm imagining you in your duplex above the coffeehouse. You just stepped out of the shower, and I'm holding your robe. I've got a nice blaze going in the bedroom, the champagne's poured, and I'm about to... Mike! Yes? I glanced at the glass partition separating me from the male chauffeur. It wasn't raised all the way. Okay, phone sex in front of an audience, even an audience of one, might have been acceptable for your average world-weary urbanite. And yes, after living in the Big Bad Apple for years, I was weary enough for any middle-aged single mom. But I was still my Nona's granddaughter. Not that my dear daughter would agree. I could just hear her now. That's why my generation does sexting, Mom. Type it out and it's totally private. Right, honey, and nobody shares stored data in cyberspace. I'm not at home, I explained to Quinn. I'm on my way to dinner. You'll never guess where. You better just tell me, Claire, I have a conference call in 20. The boyfriend voice was gone, the warmth chilling into a tone I knew far too well. Stoic, emotionless cop. I should have replied with something generally reassuring like, I miss you, which I did. I wish you were here. Ditto. Or even, on your next visit, I'm baking you up a triple chocolate Italian cheesecake like the one you inhaled on New Year's Eve, which I planned to. But I didn't say any of those things. My excitement level was so high that I simply blurted the news. I'm riding in a chauffeured limo on my way to dinner at the Source Club. The silence stretched on so long I was sure our connection was lost. Mike? You're pulling my leg. I'm not pulling anything. I couldn't blame the man for doubting my words. Even I had trouble believing it. The Source Club was one of the most elite enclaves in Manhattan. With my anemic bank account, I was lucky to get into Sam's Club, let alone a zillionaire's club. So, what's the story? Did your former mother-in-law give up and sell the Village Blend to a national chain? Bite your tongue. You inherited a fortune from a lost relative? He grunted. Maybe I'd better get you to the altar already, in handcuffs if necessary. It's nothing like that, and I'd rather you keep those handcuffs on your belt, if you don't mind. The last